Alright guys, hey guys, it's your boy Kelsey and welcome back to another video of Genshin Impact. Now today's video is going to be a bit of a different because this video is basically about how much I have learned so far. Now in my live stream and in my past videos that I have told that due to my exams, my university and other stuff, I couldn't actually focus on Genshin story, deep stories. I have completed Arc Quest, I have understand the gist of it, but you know when you are playing a game, you are into the game and you always want to be up to date with the latest lore and what's going on between everything. I used to be like that when I was in my A levels and other stuff because I have been playing Genshin for a long time. Where is Amber? I started playing in 2021. I remember Shao coming out first time, his banner. It was Lantern, right? I believe. And yeah, that me was different. Like I was so obsessed with Genshin's lore. Like Genshin's story hit me different than any other game I have ever played, bro. Like Genshin to me, there is no other comparison, bro. Genshin has a special place in my heart, bro. Sadly, reality check, you all get responsibility when you grow up, huh? And so I am like very up to date with the Art Conquest. Only Nordkreis Act 4. This is 4, yeah. This is Act 4. I'm going to complete it in my next live stream. We finished Act 3, 1 and 3 in our past live stream. I believe only 3 acts is left, and then we are good to go. And then I have to obviously complete where are wait, what? Where are character story quest? Wait, what? Oh, here. I have to complete all of these story quests as well wrongly. I don't know why I said wrongly, but wrongly I've completed it, and then I have done many when I was in my A levels. You'll see all of this. These are all done in the time and before A levels. When I got into university, I was like, nah, I couldn't just find the time. I have to complete important ones first. As I was saying, this was no, I was like saying that which one I should prioritize, Moavica, then Arlecchino, Sino. Sino is an important figure in all this, Skark as well, Varka as well. But yeah, we'll do that. But bro, there is no comparison between Prime Sakib and the current Sakib now, bro. Like, can you imagine a person who did all of this 100%? Went all of this chasm, by the way, 100%. Now many people hate chasm. It is understandable, but I like apocalyptic places, like apocalypse, world destruction level stuff. I like that, so I hate it and I love it, bro. But look, 100%, bro. Then the desert part also people don't like it, but it was one of the second best places that I have visited. I loved doing the pyramid quest. It was amazing. This was prime me. This was me in my A levels, in my O levels time. When Sumeru came out, I think I was in O level, and when Natlan came out, I think I was in A level, and then Fontaine came out, or sorry. After Sumeru, Fontaine came out. Yeah, see, Fontaine is also 100%, bro. This is prime me. This is prime Sakib, bro, by the way. And then Natlan came out when I was in A level, and Now not cry. Now in my A level I did have some pressure and stuff, that's why as you can see it's not up to my prime, and then not cry is not cry. I enjoyed this part, that's why it's 100%, and then yeah, that's it. And this is like, bro, I just went and opened the teleports, that's it. So yeah, that's the history of me, the prime Sakib and the current me. I'm actually like really sad that I can't play games like how I used to play. I can't enjoy things, certain things that I could enjoy back in those days. It's sad. But as promised in my other videos, I am watching guide videos for the past 2 days, and I also watched it today. Oh, shout out to Minsleif, the girlfriend of Dainsleif. It's funny enough, Dainsleif is one of the characters that I have been saving from the start. That's why I have so much saved up. Just not because of Dainsleif. There are other characters as well. I've been saving for characters and characters. This is my recent character. Like, I regret not pulling for all the Archons. I should have pulled for Nahida. I should have pulled for um, Moavika and what's his name? Furina. I should have pulled for them because I already have 4 Archons. 4? 3 Archons. Yeah, 3 Archons. Wait, let's pause the game video over here. Okay, now everything goes to her. She's the mastermind. Thanks to her, without her help, by the way, I wouldn't even have a single bit of clue about anything what's going on. Thanks to her, Minsleif, you're a game lifesaver. Thanks to her, I have watched important ones, not all of them, but I have to watch all of them. You have no idea. In the past 2 days, like, I have learned so much, by the way. So much of the unknown stuff is cleared in my head. So, what I have watched, and I have organized them. So, one by one, I'm gonna tell the recap. I'm not gonna watch them because I have already watched it, and I want to tell what I have learned. And if I make any mistakes, just let me know in the comments. And if I've missed an important part of the lore. So, first off, Paimon's true identity. Bro, there are some funny comments that I have made, not in this video, but we knew from the very beginning that Paimon is the unknown god. Her dress, her style, her crown, her everything matches Celestial's pillars. Then, um, Asmodee, she's the
Actually,
unknown god.
God was never truly
It's her. So we all knew that. But this is all just a theory in the end of the day. And in the second video, you'll know what's going on currently, because this was from the very beginning, bro. This was when Genshin came out. So, now in this video, interestingly, Minsleif said that the 4 shaders, you know, the video that came out, wait a second. Yeah, it's this video. You know, when this video came out, 4 shaders, and sorry, I caught cold and my nose is just a mess. And she is one of the 4 shaders. There is Ryan Daughter. There is who else? Wait, Ronova, Nebulous, Izrath. Oh, Ryan Daughter is not there. Izrath and Asmodee. And we always knew that Asmodee is the unknown god. We already knew that she was introduced early in the game, but all of the other 3 were only released after when, bro. When was it released? Let me see. 8 months ago. So in Natlan, maybe in Natlan, yeah, or maybe in Notcry. I don't know. I forgot. But bro, this is this theory is just mind-blowing. You know, like the heavenly principle, they're totally different. And remember this part: heavenly principles are a very key point in this entire thing, because the upcoming videos are just mind blowing. This isn't just mind blowing, by the way. One of the videos she made, Minsleif, is a bombshell of a lore, and these are just the tip of the iceberg. The down part is the left, bro. So anyway, uh, the heavenly principle made the four shades, and we know that in the Tevat, before the humans lived, the dragon sovereigns, the dragons used to live. So the heavenly principle came. That heavenly principle made the four shades and destroyed, killed all the dragon sovereigns. They're all dead, and now the heavenly principle conquered the entire Tevat and then made humans and everything we know today. So the four shaders are actually like shackled to follow the heavenly principle. And Minsleif also said that, you know, Genshin has a funny way of telling that the theories are always so obvious, but then just one little context of a lore destroys that entire uh, simple lore, simple theory. You know how Celestia in what can I say, in when the game came out, when we were in Liyue or Sumeru, we always thought that Celestia is bad. Celestia, Fitui Harbingers are bad. But then we learned that Fitui Harbingers, they have a different motive, and Fitui Harbingers Archon, I forgot her name, but she's the last Archon, isn't she? Um, she's doing this isn't despite of evil, but she's doing this because uh, there I again say this is the lore video, so there is going to be like a huge uh, what do you say? Uh, oh yeah, spoilers ahead. I forgot to say spoilers ahead in the beginning. I've already said too much, but then uh, anyway, whatever I was saying. Um, so there is a third descendant, and the third descendant was to be getting the Teritsa. Yeah, her name is Teritsa. Teritsa was in love with the third descendant, but the third descendant got killed, or I forgot what happened to him, and Teritsa just despised of revenge. She's doing all of this. She's taking all the gnosis to resurrect the third descendant, to fight off the heavenly principle. We don't know, but there are theories, and it's like that. So Genshin has a funny way of telling everything is good, but then a load drops and everything is bad. And the bad becomes good and the good becomes bad. That's how Genshin lore is, in a nutshell. But the Four Shades, Asmonde might actually not be a villain. She's just obeying the Heavenly Principle's orders. That's it. In one of the story quests, you remember. Um, where's the quest? Is there a picture of the quest? You know, oh yeah. Where is the... Wait, let me show you a picture. Over here. Right over here in this story quest in Nordcry. You know, when Traveler and Lumine met together, and Asmonde or the Four Shades, I don't know, they were spying on them, by the way. They were spying on their conversation. So you could say that this is all a part of a grand planning, uh, a grand something. And this is also important because the context is I'm going to give in the upcoming videos. So they might actually not be villains, but they're following the orders of the Heavenly Principle, and everything is so messed up. Like, bro, uh, I knew this, some of it, but now the theories are all making sense because it's there. Also, at this part, in the video over here, it says that Asmodee seems have found peace with her new master. Why did I was about to say monster? So that's why the theory comes that Asmodee is Paimon. And then there is this part, this theory that um, like the four shaders have something correlating with Paimon. Every single thing is a mix of Paimon. Her her ring, who's she? Wait, who's she? I think she is Isroth, isn't it? Isroth head ring is her crown, then the crest. I don't know who she is, and this is Asmodee. Asmodee's what is Asmodee's? Asmodee's Black Star.
is Black Star. Rather than linking her to just one, this suggests Paimon embodies all four at once, meaning
Okay, there might be some other things that I missed, but she is like a combination of all the four shaders, so she could be another creation of the heavenly principle that has been sent to the traveler to guide or something. And there's a reason why I'm saying that the heavenly principle have made Paimon to guide the travelers. There is a reason. Remember that. And what's next? Okay, yeah, there is nothing much to say over here, so let's go to the next video. So in this video, the new Nordcry Arc Conquest that we did reveals that Paimon is the moon goddess, the fourth moon goddess that couldn't become a moon because of many things. It's because one of the factors that made this theory is that Columbina flies and she leaves a trail in the Arc Conquest, and that trail of stars that resembles Paimon, and Paimon's floating, and that's why this new theory came out that she is one of the moon goddesses. Over here, this was the biggest what can you say, biggest evidence she could find that Paimon could be the moon, because this I don't know who are these people, but I've done the quest. I didn't notice it. See, again, if she haven't explained all of this, I would have been oblivious to the fact of everything, bro. But this thing said, Paimon is like a little rainbow balloon floating in the air. And she went on and saying that iridescent moon in other translation means rainbow moon. So, coincidence? And then, what Minsleif said is that there was a book in Fontaine or somewhere, and in that book, there was some evidence that there's a angel. We all know this story that Quether was the first angel created by the heavenly principles, and she actually fell in love with a human, and that's why heavenly principles punished them, and they made them like the sillies
name.
today we see.
You see where I'm going?
This is what we saw in the Fontaine, not the Fontaine, um in the Natlan quest, in the Natlan Arc quest. We learned more about these spirits, these angels. And yeah, this is the guy who she fall in love. And so this is where the theory comes from, that Paimon is Quether, the first angel. But this is like doesn't suit Paimon's why Paimon is Paimon. You know what I mean? Like Paimon is totally different. She has connection from all the four shaders. Like her design dress, and then much of everything is like similar to Celestial. Like the fact that she can pause the entire menu and floats like nothing is ever happening. Doesn't feel like she is Qatar, Qatar, because Colombina is Qatar, so the two names are very similar. At one point, like when I was going through all the theories, I made this comment because, bro, every Archon quest, or maybe in years, some years later, we get new theories of what Paimon is, bro. Like in Not Crazy event, we learned that Paimon could be. It's a theory that Paimon could be a moon goddess. I said, how many theories does Paimon have, bro? Paimon could be Heavenly Principle, Paimon could be Asmodee, Paimon could be Kuthar, the first daughter of the Heavenly Principle, Paimon could be the Moon Goddess, Paimon could be the Vulcan Moon. Oh yeah, Paimon. There was a theory back in those days that Paimon is the uh, Vulcan Moon. You know, why did I go to settings? Her. This is the Vulcan Moon, by the way. And then I said, oh yeah, and overall, Paimon is the emergency food. Like everything is so bizarre, bro. Like Paimon and Zhongli are one of the most mysterious things that I have ever come across in Genshin, bro. How many names does Zhongli have, and how many theories does Paimon have, bro? The reason I'm saying this because we're gonna see Zhongli's theory in a bit moment, but yeah. Is there anything else? Alright, not much. So let's go to the next outfit. Why did it say outfit, bro? The title says outfit, but the next video, it should be next video, bro. Well, anyway, this is the most mind-boggling, mind-broken, atomic, nuclear level, bomb level lore bomb, bro. I don't know what I said, but can you fathom, bro? Those who have watched this video and got the this outfit. The outfit I will get it after completing the Not Cry quest. It's free, you know. And so what this have a huge lore. You know what Genshin does. Genshin does best is make lores, not today's one. Wait, what the fuck? Where are the lores, bro? Oh wait, no. Wait, didn't Artifact have a huge lore behind it, bro? But is this in Archive? You know what, bro? I give up, man. But there are artifacts that contains huge lore. Huge lore, by the way, not just small. Ah, it's here. Oof, it's in the archive. Okay. Anyway, so let's take a random one. Let's take this. You know how there is lore of every artifact? This is what Genshin does best. Provide lore for everything. Not even weapons are safe, bro. Not even weapons are safe, bro. Entire Wikipedia of lore in just a weapon, bro. But anyway, so over there, this outfit also have a huge lore. And when she cracked down the entire lore, and when I saw the video, bro, I was like, what the fuck, bro? All the video I've shown, I haven't made any video, I haven't played any video. I wanted to explain it with my own belief, because what's the point of just showing the video if I don't understand it myself? I wanted to explain it myself. But this one, I have to show this to you guys. Like, just look at
capable
this.
of terraforming an entire planet. It could modify a world's lithosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere, basically rewrite a planet until it could support the birth of a new civilization. And according to its travel log, it spent thousands of years surveying countless planets, only to conclude that so far, none of them had the potential to resist eventual destruction. Now pause. A ship from beyond the stars with an AI that follows certain rules, deciding which worlds are viable, capable of reshaping planets, carrying a genetic vault meant to preserve a species, and it's been searching for a place where a civilization can survive. Doesn't it
Now,
viable a place where a civilization
now, context over here. The ship that we're looking for, the traveler is looking for in North Korea, that ship is so advanced. It's so artificially intelligent that it's so technologically advanced. We all know that Traveler's home planet was destroyed, and she also said that we don't actually know that the game haven't made it clear that the Traveler's home planet has been destroyed. That's why those who knows, maybe you guys know. So that's why I wanted to make this clear. And then, so this ship was the last survival tech that they have built for the survival of the traveler, their people, so that they can continue their mankind, or whatever you wanna say. I think the traveler, the Lumin, the last two people alive of their civilization. Or there could be more, because we know that in Teyvat there are descendants from the home planets, and there's a reason. I'm gonna say it in the later upcoming videos. So what mind-boggling of this entire thing is that, oh, it's AI, it's artificial intelligence. Did you guys catch what she said? This aircraft, this ship, is capable of terraforming an entire world, that Teyvat itself, to make it as if livable, suitable for a human being to live. So that ship would just create out of thin air oxygen, trees. It will just create out of nowhere. It will just make itself. That's how much advanced this thing is. And it's in Teyvat, by the way. So I commented, wait, doesn't that mean Teyvat is already an influence of the traveler spaceship? I was like, what? Out of all the theories out there, this is the most insane lore that the Genshin have provided yet. Bro, holy shit, bro. So this changes everything, like my perspective of thinking, like, oh, so what's going on? And we all know that the sky is fake. Now the theory is real. From Scaramouche to Harbingers to every other Archons have been saying, I think, that the sky is fake. So this ship has a huge influence on the Teyvat world. And the ship, also what the lore says, is that every time this ship went to a planet, it would eventually get destroyed, unsuitable for the power it provides, I think, or maybe because of some factors that the planet get destroyed. But the Teyvat is in the place of getting destroyed, because of things. I'm gonna say it later. But bro, holy shit, I took a moment of breath to fathom what's going on, bro. So the theory is that this ship is Heavenly Principle itself. This ship has created the four shaders. This ship have destroyed the dragon sovereigns. This ship have done everything that we know today, and that's why the Heavenly Principle never shows themselves. This is why, by the way. But this is also theory, by the way. There is zero evidence that the ship is literally the Heavenly Principles. And over here, the Heavenly Principle is the first descender. And also, the next theory she proposed is that the Heavenly Principle might be a completely different person, and could be taking the advantage of the AI, could be stolen that AI, because she mentioned that, you know how Heavenly Principle and she made 4 shaders to kill all the dragon sovereigns, to eliminate them, take their powers. So she suggested that the Heavenly Principle might have done the same and took the AI for themselves and using it. So this is another theory, and this is more logical because that would, if that ship is the Heavenly Principle, bro, it would be way too funny. Just like in how many of you have watched Dragon Ball, and you know how over here, you know how Zeno is the creator of Dragon Ball universe. He literally created everything. Zeno is a funny character. How can, like, people thinks, how can Zeno be a god? Zeno is like a little kid. And if you guys have watched Tournament of Power and everything up to date, you guys know how Zeno is. Zeno is like literally a child, but Zeno is the creator of everything. So it will be like this. So if this theory comes to true, that the ship is the Heavenly Principle, the entire thing would be hilarious, bro. But it would be interesting to know what truly is going on, bro. Like the ship's AI, artificial intelligence, is obviously having an effect on Teyvat, or else how would everything come to be? This guy is fake. The ship's energy or something, the ship's power is running out, and the world is crumbling. We know that the Teyvat itself is slowly destroying itself. Over here, she says there's no confirmation that the AI, the ship, have ever left the Teyvat in the first place. So the ship is here. Or the Genshin never told us that the ship has left, or it is in the Teyvat or anywhere else where. We don't know that, but there's no confirmation yet. Maybe they will release a lore bomb again, you know. Also, this part would be very complex for me to explain, but it's huge amount of context, so it would be better if I just play the video.
3 years ago, theorizing that Paimon might
So she's
made
saying
a video
wait,
almost
she's saying this guy made a video years ago, 3 years ago, by the way. This guy's a genius. Shout out to him as well.
3 years ago, theorizing that Paimon might actually be an AI. And with what we just learned from the outfit lore, we can
So the thing is that there is a lot of context. I am going to say that I am just saying, and this is my explanation. If you want to understand, you have to watch the entire video by yourself.
expand on that theory.
Because there is a lot
might
of context that I am not saying over here. This is what I am saying in a nutshell.
be the ship's AI, a fragment of it, or even a derivative. Back in version 3.
This came out as that the Paimon is linked to the ship, and ship created Paimon. Like how I said back in those previous 2 videos that Heavenly Principle made the 4 shaders, and the 4 shaders has and Paimon has a resemblance to the 4 shaders. So the Heavenly Principle have made Paimon, and so this is where this comes from. That ship created the 4 shaders and the Paimon itself.
1, Genshin introduced a Sumeru boss called the Algorithm of Semi-Intransit Matrix of Overseer Network. It's an ancient machine, and the acronym for its name would be Azamon. Wei pointed out that in official Genshin emails, the sender is written as Paimon, an acronym. And that opens the door to names for Paimon, like Primordial Algorithm of Intratransit Matrix of Overseer Network, or even Pioneer instead of Primordial, which would be painfully on the nose considering we're dealing with a Pioneer spaceship AI now. And then there's an extra breadcrumb that feels like Hoyoverse literally trolling us. They have
This is what they do best, you know? Genshin does best. Trolling and putting lores in everything. And providing lore bombs. Nuclear lore bombs, bro. This is why I love Genshin.
running alongside the official one called Paimon to the Moon. And what did we find on the moon? the Traveler's spaceship. Now think about what the ship's AI was actually built to do. It was responsible for determining whether a planet is viable for life. To do that, it would need to analyze the atmosphere, terrain, environmental conditions, basically scan the world and understand it. So suddenly, Paimon being the best guide in all of Teyvat starts to make a lot of sense. It feels like a leftover function. Like even if she doesn't consciously remember anything, the ship may have scanned Teyvat long before the Traveler ever woke up.
So this is the theory, bro. Like, I love Genshin, bro. Theories, lores are like the thing that I play Genshin for, bro. Alright, this is also important. Wait, where's the Genshin music?
Scenario, the Heavenly Principles either modified or repurposed her with the task of keeping the Traveler's journey on a certain track. But there's still something that keeps this theory from being 100% concrete. Paimon seems to be affected by Irminsul rewrites. Paimon no longer remembers Greater Lord Rukkhadevata after Irminsul was modified. And that kind of change affects people who are native to Teyvat, which means that if Paimon truly existed outside of Teyvat as an interstellar ship AI, theoretically, she shouldn't be affected. So in one way or another, Paimon is bound to Teyvat and its rules. Whether that's because she was altered, because she was registered into Teyvat's system, because she's been here too long, or because she isn't the alien we want her to be, something about her is anchored here in Teyvat. And that brings us to the part you should actually care about the most. Because whether you believe the Heavenly Principles is the ship's AI, or Paimon is a fragment of it, or even both of them are the ship's AI, none of that changes the biggest takeaway. The lore in the Traveler's new outfit is still significant. The outfit lore sheds more light on the twins' entire story. Their journey is essentially a survival mission. It's an arc, you could say. It's a journey.
Oh yeah. Is this the video about the arc? No, this is not the arc. So this is important, keep in mind.
Built around preservation, keeping something alive, rebuild what was lost, and find a world where the future...
Yep. So the next video is about the arc. Is it about the arc? No. Okay, what is this about? Wait. Okay, this part is also important, but this is oh yeah, this video is just about the four shades, and that's it. It's not important. We all know who they are.
Discovered Columbina as a fading Seelie Wisp and found a way to stabilize her original form. But her glitching at the end of the trailer may be a visual clue that that form isn't permanent, and her hold on it is beginning to slip. In the Song of the Welkin Moon event, it's said that from the ashes of the shattered 3 moons, a new moon would rise, one that would spin.
And this is why in the other previous videos, that's why she said that Paimon is the moon goddess that is to be awakened as the 4th moon. But this contradicts. So now she's saying that Columbina is going to be the 4th moon that shines as the 3 moons fall.
Spin the wheel of fate anew. Skirk herself mentions that while 2 of Teyvat's moons are shattered, their fragments drifting behind the false sky, the frost moon remains intact but lifeless. Its will still lingers, waiting for something or someone to awaken it. So, what if Columbina is that new moon that will carry on the will of the frost moon? If the angels fell when the moons fell, there's a parallel there, and it might stand to reason that an angelic being could serve as the vessel for the frost moon's lingering will. Columbina and the frost moon combined make the new moon. And that would explain why the Fusui are so adamant about keeping the frost moon scions away. If the frost moon scions knew what Columbina could potentially become, if they recognized her as the vessel of their lost goddess, they might try to reclaim her, thereby interfering with whatever the Saritsa plans next.
Yeah, so that's also interesting. So Paimon could or could not be the 4th moon, or Columbina is the 4th moon. It makes sense that Columbina is going to be the 4th moon because she's distant, isn't she? Paimon is entirely something different, so that theory might be gone because but in the end of the day, Genshin is Genshin, and what Genshin does best is provide bombshell of lores. So yeah, this video was about the four shaders, but because in the time I didn't know like what the four shaders was like, uh, how were they created? I thought they were created way before Heaven and Principle. I don't know why I thought that, but okay, now it's all makes sense. Before going to Zhongli, I want to show this. So I was uh, doing my own research before I was watching all these theories videos. So what I was confused about the four shaders, they are the four shaders, and Ronova is the ruler of death. One of the most anticipated characters that I am going to pull for, and all the four of them, if they are playable, of course. That's why I've been saving for this much. And then we have Ryan Daughter Gold. Oh, Ryan Daughter is one of the four shaders, so I was right. Okay. The thing is that why there are two names, because they have combined apparently. Yeah, I forgot about that. And Ryan Daughter is the one who created Albedo, Durin, and some other things as well, because she is the ruler of life. Azeroth, ruler of time. So the thing about that Paimon being the goddess of time is debunked because Azeroth is the goddess of time. And Asmonde, not in the video. Why? Ruler of space. Hmm. Not in the video. Why not in the video? Oh, yeah. In the trailer, there was not Asmonde. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Renova was saying that she found a new master. Why am I keep saying monster? New master who she enjoys. Yeah. Okay. So, uh, what's next? Yeah, the Hexen Circle's members. Now, what's interesting over here? I never knew Alice was the founder of the Hexen Circles. Like holy shit! And I didn't know Ryan Daughter was one of the four shaders before then. She four shaders came out very recently. So the Hexen circles were there from the very early days. Sumeru or Fontaine? I don't know. How many characters have we met? We know Ryan Daughter, we know Alice, and Ryan Daughter is a very, very key figure in all of this. A very key figurative characters. She have a lot of influence in entire of Devat. We hear Ryan Daughter's thing in many places. Like the recent articles that we did in Nordcry, we're doing in Nordcry, is that Ryan Daughter was there in the time of Condria when Dainsleif and Razer were fighting the king, their dynasty. If you guys have done it, you know what I'm saying. So Ryan Daughter was there. So Ryan Daughter have a very significant influence in interactive Genshin. Uh, I don't know if I have met them. Barbaroth, who's Barbaroth? Oh, Mona's teacher. Okay, but we haven't seen her in any videos or in the game, have we? So one, two, three, four, five, maybe five of them I haven't seen personally. Maybe they have, maybe the Genshin lore or the YouTube videos have shown it. I haven't watched it. That could have happened. But what far as I know Ryan Daughter and Alice, the two of the Hexen Circles. And my third problem was, so among the Archons, among the four shaders, among the Hexen Circles, who are the most strongest? So the strongest is, oh, Alice is the founder and elder. She's the elder. Questionable. Barbaroth, okay, Mona's teacher, Ryan Daughter, alchemist. Prophet's Truth Guide, the creator of Pocket Realm. Oh, Pocket Realm. Story Witch. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll know that more. I will watch a guide video about the hexen circles. Okay, so what I asked next, yeah. So what I asked next is who are the strongest? The four shaders, like, rank supreme out of all. I'm quite surprised that the hexen circles are quite down the archons. That's interesting. I actually thought that archons would be much powerful, uh, and like maybe not be like the most powerful, but the archons, I actually thought that archons are going to be in equal footing as the four shades, but archons are down the four shaders. Holy shit, okay. But you know, Zhongli, there is something different about Zhongli. We're gonna know then, and I'm gonna tell this about this later. Zhongli might be a different breed of an archon, by the way. Then we have the Hagen circles. They are the most intellectual mages and other stuff, and as well. Wait, are the Hexen circles or all the sinners? Wait, who are the wait. Alright, so the four sinners are all the key members of the Kandria, and during they are from the during the cataclysm. So Ryan is the most powerful. I think that's why he's ranked up there. And Sartologi, I'm gonna butcher the name, but correct me in the comments. But she's I don't know if she or Sartologi is the master of Skark, and Childs, Childs is from the Abyss, and Childs also I think was taught by Sartologi. Then Vardi Forin, the Visionary, he's the king, isn't it? Where Ryan Dainsleif, Rarier fought, I think. And then and the high Harpetoria or whatever, the wise. I don't know who this is. That's what it said list revealed so far. Okay. Wait, where is Radier then? Radier is one of the wait, five sinners or four sinners? Oh yeah. So I have messed up. There is fifth. Five sinners. Wait. So I don't understand. So why didn't ChatGPT just corrected me? Why did it say just four? It's five. Pharaoh the Jester. The fit we have a zero. Oh wait. Pharaoh is a one of the five sinner? Satology, okay. Visionary. Wait, what the fuck? Where is Rarier then? What the? Oh, wait. Is ChatGPT oblivious to the fact that Rarier is a. Okay. No? Oh, okay. Not confirmed. What does that mean? Wait, is ChatGPT just shit, bro? Rarier not confirmed. Canon for now. Okay, so Rarier is like a hybrid of the five sinners, and they are the original sinners. Where is it? So they are the original sinners, right? Where am I? Yeah. Okay, so they are the original sinners, five sinners. And the sinners are just normal human beings. They're just regular human beings. If you have learned about the Rarier's past, Bro was just an assassin doing King's bidding and was just a normal human being like everybody. He was not special. He just got the power of something, which I don't know yet. And then yeah. Okay. So yeah. Oh wow. What? The five sinners are powerful than the archons? Hey yo. What the hell? Nah, man. This is some messed up shit, bro. If anybody were to show this to me or anybody, any lore crafter, that the Archons are in the bottom of the tier list and some new entities, the Five Sinners, the Four Shades, are stronger than the Archons, nobody would have believed it, bro. Like, holy shit. Where are we, bro? Where are we? We're at a point. It used to be like the Archons, there could be no other powerful beings than Archons. Now, holy shit, bro. Well, the heavenly principles are there, but that's a different thing. Arcane geniuses, okay. I see, I see. I see. No, that is expected. We know this. We know this. Traveler might be stronger, will become stronger than the Archons themselves, and then the Traveler will go on to be on par with the sinners, and then maybe caught up to the four shaders, and then finally the heavenly principles. Bro, I have been yapping, I don't know for how long. This entire video is about learning, of course, but the amount of yapping I'm doing, bro. It's already 1 hour, 52 minutes, almost 1 hour, bro. Holy shit, bro. There's so much also left. Okay, so this is done. On the next video. I am so angry at this one. So angry that I couldn't complete Lantern Rite of this year's 2026, bro. 2025, sorry. I was again busy with my university exams and other stuff, so I couldn't find the time to do the quest event. My entire life, bro. Playing for 5 years this game. Still, I haven't missed a single Lantern Rite event. I've known all the Lantern Rite. I've completed all the Lantern Rite. From the first one, this was from my first Lantern Rite, by the way. I knew, like, you guys know that after third or fourth Lantern Rite, you could buy the Shao Lanterns, but I didn't buy them. This is from the first Lantern Rite. Then others as well. I've done all of the Lantern Rite, but this one, I am so sad that I couldn't do it. And in this Lantern Rite, the Genshin decided to release a bombshell of a lore. Look what it's saying.
In Red Quest, Zibai calls Zhongli this:
the Lord of Geo, Heaven's Star.
And if you've been around Genshin long enough, you'll already know how this game works. This tiny little text is probably a massive lore drop that will completely change Zhongli's story forever. Surprisingly, Heaven's Star isn't even a brand new title for Zhongli. In Chinese, Zhongli's name card is Zhongli
I never knew this, by the way.
which translates to Heavenly Star. In Genius Invocation TCG, his elemental burst is also labeled Tiancheng again. Heavenly Star. Heaven's Star is a long-standing canonical label that's been sitting on Zhongli for years, and most of us probably didn't notice it. And if that's true, then we have to consider the uncomfortable possibility. Zhongli may have a past he's been trying very hard to hide. Zibai's own lore is drenched in what I can only describe as the old world of Teyvat. This encompasses
Yeah.
the era of dragons, the era
True.
when the heavenly principles was awake and actively imposing order, and the era when the 3 moon goddesses still ruled. Zibai
Yeah,
is
yeah.
old, and Zhongli might be older. And if
She is old, by the way.
she's the one addressing him with that title, then it implies she recognizes something about him that modern Teyvat doesn't recognize anymore. His true identity, perhaps?
We interrupt this lore spiral to bring.
Okay, I'm also pausing.
So what even is a star in Teyvat? And more importantly, what does it mean to be called Heaven's Star? Besides the Traveler and their sibling, the first time we really hear about the concept of stars is in Moonlit Bamboo Forest, the same book series that introduced Zibai. Goddesses were classifications of divine beings, and rode through the heavens in a silver carriage. Only one held sovereignty at a time, swapping places 3 times a month. And in the old story, they were all in love with the morning stars. It's realized the story starts framing morning stars and moons as a split within Celestia's order. It's not about lovers and love. It uses a worldview to be managed who believes they have the right to decide with a divine a measure of a civilization's fitness to exist. Its swamp Celestia's logic. It's not enough to draws the universal kind of they
Okay.
love.
Yeah.
They
This
shine
is the
across
part.
the entire garden without lingering on any single flower. They don't care if their light scorches the unsacred to pure nothingness. The morning stars are universal, efficient, and ruthless. The kind of love that can justify annihilation because a divine plan itself is more sacred. The moons, on the other hand, represent something intimate and restorative. Moonlight seeps into the roots of each scorched plant and offers solace. But there's a key detail. It says moonlight shuns the soil. That implies the moons are probably against the current world order and don't really prioritize upholding a divine plan. They preserve what they can and ease the damage that the morning stars caused. Which brings us right back to Zhongli. Because if Zhongli was
Yep.
one of those morning stars,
Bro, this is the part that destroyed me, by the way. Bro, I'm also like so intrigued, so uh so happy. I don't know what's the word, bro, but Zhongli is my favorite Archon, and I loved Zhongli from the very beginning, and Liyue was my favorite region, but then slowly it started to go to Fontaine, and it's in Fontaine. But Liyue is just different. When an Archon quest reveals Zhongli's true self and uh, an Archon quest just about Liyue, I'm just gonna go back to Liyue because Liyue is my first favorite region. And Zhongli as my favorite Archon, I knew Zhongli was a different breed of an Archon. Zhongli is so conservative, bro. Like, he has so many titles, so much secrets, like the God of Contracts. Bro cannot reveal what he said because of a contract he made to someone, bro. Imagine that someone. Who is that person who he made that contract that Zhongli cannot reveal about his sibling, Lumin? Zhongli is that type of a breed of an Archon, bro.
or worse, if he was the one in charge of them as Heaven's Star, then the Zhongli from Old Teyvat would be very
Yep.
different from the Zhongli we know today. Our Zhongli wants humans to rely on each other instead of
Yes.
relying on a god. But a Heaven Star Zhongli? A Morning Star Zhongli? That version of him might be one that carries out the Heavenly Principle's divine plan with total loyalty, even when it's cruel. Because in his mind, it's all justified as the greater good. And there's another detail in Zibai's lore that makes this connection even more suspicious. Zhongli is the one who taught Zibai the art of excising one's impure thoughts into 3 deadly selves. In her story, she sees 3 identical figures fighting in mid-air, and then they merge back into one, into Zhongli.
This is also
That technique
interesting,
is
by
based
the
on
way.
the idea that your mind can be split into different parts, and doing that lets
Yeah.
you reach the unmarred self. So the obvious
That is so anime, by the way. So anime.
question is, why would Zhongli need a technique like that? One possibility is this.
To split his personalities the personality disorders.
If Zhongli has information, things people aren't meant
Yeah.
to know and things he isn't allowed to say, then splitting himself could be a way to seal it off. One self holds the dangerous truths. The other is the version we see, the public-facing version who can move through the world safely because he can't leak information that he technically doesn't have access to. But Zabai's framing invites an even darker interpretation.
This was
In her
really
story,
scary,
the deadly
bro.
selves are impure thoughts and wicked
That edit
desires that
is
pollute
scary,
the
by the way.
mind. Excising them lets you see what remains when the contamination is removed. If Zhongli can split into 3 identical selves and merge back, that implies he's done it enough times that it's very controlled and stable, which means he had impurities. He had inner contradictions that needed managing and separating. So what if he did it because he felt what he was doing was wrong? The darkest theory we can come up with is that Zhongli split himself so he could keep doing the Heavenly Principles work. If compassion for individual suffering of humans counted as impure under celestial logic, and if hesitation was seen as weakness that endangered the divine plan, then Zhongli may have cut it out of himself to remain an effective heaven star. The self he cut away would be the self that disagreed with the Heavenly Principles rules. That would neatly explain why our Zhongli feels more human, more protective of Liyue as a people, and more willing to step away from divine rule entirely. If that is the self that we're seeing. And if that's true, then things get genuinely unsettling. So let's say Zhongli split himself because one part of him couldn't live with what Celestia demanded, whether that was guilt, doubt, or compassion. But here's the scary part. If he cut that piece away and it's still cut away, where did the other selves go? And more importantly, which Zhongli have we been listening to this whole time? Which deadly self is the one standing in front of us? So what
Scary.
does it actually mean for Zabai to call him Heaven's Star? Here's how I'm reading it, based on everything Old Teyvat lore implies. Heaven's Star was probably a role on the same level as the 3 moon goddesses, part of the infrastructure of Old Teyvat. In one interpretation, Heaven's Star could simply be the name of one of the morning stars. In another, Heaven's Star could be the one ruling the morning stars. And then above that, you have the Shades, beings that seem to answer directly to the heavenly principles. Which means if Zhongli truly held a title like Heaven's Star back then, he was already a god long before he became the Geo Archon.
That's why Zhongli is the GOAT. The GOAT! That's what I know, yeah, bro. The GOAT, bro, the man himself.
Note that according to Zabai, Zhongli isn't an angel, and I think he's definitely something above them. Crazy theory, but it'd be wild if he happened to be above the Shades, but beneath the heavenly principles. But there's another layer to this, and it's a theory, so take it with a grain of
salt.
In Murals of the Dragon King Nibelung, we don't just see the 3 moons. We see the sun. So the question becomes, if there are moon goddesses, then surely there's a solar counterpart, right? A sun god, or at least a solar authority? And if you're looking at Zhongli being labeled Heaven's Star, it's very tempting to connect that title to the sun. Genshin already mentioned a solar figure in its ancient legends, the Solar Chariot. The Solar Chariot, also called the Star of Daybreak, seems to be the name for the sun in Teyvat's old history, much like the 3 moons are personified as sisters riding a silver carriage. In the past, during the War of Funerary Flame, the Solar Chariot fell to Teyvat and created what we now know as the Chasm. That's a big detail because it means the Solar Chariot isn't presented as one person.
Wait, this much is done, but there's another context to it. Okay, yeah, it is from here. This entire part is very important. This entire video is important.
So imagine Zhongli as one of the morning stars, trying to leave Teyvat during that war, and failing. Imagine whatever consequences came from that failure. Imagine what it would mean for a being who once operated the sun to end up punished and bound to Teyvat. But now we need to talk about the elephant in the room and a theory that's been floating around for years now.
Elephant in the room.
Is Zhongli
Now, she says that,
an outlander?
but she says that this is well known, but I never knew that actually. That's why, like listening to lores, like from a YouTuber such as her as well, Minsleif and others as well. There are some great content creator who does lorecraft and other stuff. That's really onto the point, really well crafted. If you like see those, you get to know more about in-depth what's going on in Genshin Impact. And that's what I have been missing all this time. This is what I have been missing. In-depth knowledge. And now, after watching this, within just 2 days, by the way, for 3 or 2 years, I have been oblivious to the depth of the Genshin knowledge. But now, within just 2 days, bro, I'm up to date. After watching more of everything, like who are the Hexen Circles, after this, I will know more, bro.
The Hexen Circle is an organization.
Okay.
In Genshin terms, Outlander is a being that didn't originate from Teyvat at all, an alien in the literal sense, someone like Skirk. And the reason this theory even exists is because of the way stars also get used in Genshin's language. The Traveler and their sibling are referred to as stars. They are, plainly, not from Teyvat. So if Zhongli carries the title Heaven's Star, the question becomes, is Zhongli from outer space too? Again, grain of
salt.
But there's a piece of evidence that's kind of hard to ignore, and it comes from the Sumeru Archon quests. Irminsul is
This is
essentially
also
Teyvat's
important.
memory database. When it's edited, the world's records, descriptions, and even people's recollections rewrite themselves to match a new truth. When Greater Lord Drukadevata was removed from Irminsul, everyone forgot her entirely, and the world reconfigured itself so that Nahida is remembered as the only Dendro Archon who ever existed. Most in-game text was altered to reflect that, but Zhongli's character story 5 is strange. Before the Irminsul edit, his character story 5 said as time passed, many of the 7's titles changed hands, and only 2 remain of the first 7, Rex Lapis and the Anima Archon. That line directly acknowledges that the original Dendro Archon is gone. After the Irminsul change, the text becomes, as time passed, many of the 7's titles change hands, and only 2 of the first 7 remain in positions of rulership, Rex Lapis and the Anima Archon. Depending on how you read it, Zhongli seems to recognize the same core truth. Only he and Barbados are the original ruling Archons left, which is bizarre in a world that's supposed to have forgotten Rukkhadevata ever existed. And that isn't the only telling sign that something is off about Zhongli. Every character's constellation matches the name
This is
of their
important.
story quest titles, except
no,
for
not
Zhongli.
this.
Zhongli's story quest is called Historia Antiqua. His constellation is Lapis Dei. And he's not the only one. Nouvelette's constellation is Leviathan Judicator, and his story quest is Diluvius. Now, I won't completely rule out the possibility that Zhongli has a deeper connection to the dragons, even the possibility that he might be the Geo-Sovereign himself. But I think the cleaner interpretation is this. A mismatch like that might just be a reference to their roles, which were created in the old world order. Zhongli as Heaven's Star, Nouvelette as a reborn Hydro Sovereign. And if that's where this is heading, then Zhongli's story is about to become even more insane than it already is. Because imagine
Yes.
this story arc. Zhongli
Yes,
starts as
bro.
an agent of Celestia, Heaven's Star, implementing the will of the heavenly principles in Teyvat. Then he becomes the Archon of Liyue, a god who protects a nation through its most vulnerable eras. A god who has compassion and love for its people and is aware of individual suffering. Then he rules for thousands of years, watching humans grow and change. And finally, he steps down because he wants humanity to become self-reliant, to build a world where they don't need gods to survive. If that's the direction this is heading, then Heaven's Star is only
Wait,
the
this is
beginning,
the end?
the first hint at what Zhongli used to be and what he chose to stop being. If you enjoy
Damn, that's a great line. What Zhongli was and how he is now. And so I again wrote a masterpiece of a comment. Zhongli, known as Morax, the Rex Lapis, the Geo-Archon, the god of contracts, the god of commerce, commerce, whatever, bro, the god of wealth, the god of history, the warrior god, the prime of the Adeptus, the groundbreaker, the Deus Aryu, what the fuck is that, bro? The god of the Lord of Geo, now the Heaven Star, and so on, bro. How many titles is bro gonna unlock? I even said, bro, gotta catch him all. I said, might as well give him this title next, the god of title bearer, the god who unlocks new titles every time he sets foot into Vat, bro. Well, this is to be expected. Like Zhongli, Liyue is China, and Zhongli as their god. I mean, their tradition and their culture. Genshin, however, itself is originated in China. China, it's a Chinese game, and Liyue is inspired by China's history. Little is China, so Zhongli Glaze is real. That's what I said. Holy shit, bro. Zhongli is him, huh? Alright, so Zhongli's quest is done, but the point I wanted to make, I don't know where that part of the video is. I think we have went past it, but Lewis people, you know, the adapters and other people, they are not from Tibet. They are not human beings, by the way. They are created or adapti or something. I don't know. I have forgotten. But the thing I remember is that in one of these videos, that Lewis people is completely from different places. Ah, it's not in this video. It's in a different video. This video, I think. Wait. Alright, this was from Natlan's quest, and this is where I was mostly, you can say, confused. There were too many time traveling stuff, but I understood the gist of it, but now I've understood completely. So, Traveler found the spaceship, and I was like, bro, he just was so nonchalantly telling this key is the hyperchamber's key from the spaceship. Bro, this was never revealed in anywhere, bro. For 4 whole years, there's not a single utter of word hibernation chamber. In the Natural Quest, out of nowhere, this bombshell, this nuclear bomb, bro. This is why I say it, bro. The Genshin does best is whatever he does best, bro. I don't know what I'm saying, bro, but my mind is blown away. Then we learned that... Where is she? This girl, out of nowhere, came from out of this world. Her dress and her everything is not even from Netland. Okay, from here. This is important.
Is from 500 years ago. Time paradoxes can get really convoluted and crazy, so I'm going to try to explain what happens next in the simplest way. Istaroth as the...
I actually never thought that she would be involved in all of this as well. So much as so. She is manipulating time. She is doing everything, by the way. She's one of the Force shaders, isn't she? Istaroth, yeah. The shade of time is Isroth. I never knew she played such a big role, but after knowing what's going on here, she has been monitoring, she has been placing time paradox in every step the Traveler made, by the way. That's what she has done.
The ruler of time probably had a direct hand in making it possible for Diridith from the past to meet the Traveler in the future. Imagine 2 points in a timeline running in parallel. Imagine these 2 points blending into each other. This is the simplest way I think I can convey it without making it seem like Diridith went through a portal or something. After Diridith met the Traveler in the future, she returned to the past and showed the key to the sibling, proof they're twins.
I don't understand, but why would Isroth do that? Because what this entire thing fucked up is that Lumen was in the war in Kandria, fighting, and she had to choose between fighting the war, saving Kandria, or meet the Traveler. But the Traveler was... But there was no, there was Aether, but there was no Aether. Aether was supposed to be 500 years after. But what Isroth did is that she convinced Lumen to get off the war by showing a resemblance, the hyperchamber key, to the Lumen, as if telling that Aether is here, but she was never here. So why did Isroth did that, by the way?
And was looking for them. That moment convinced the sibling to leave Conria at its most desperate hour, a decision that still haunts them to this day. Diridith was the sleeping hilichurl from the start of the quest. After the cataclysm, she held onto the key for 500 years, even as she was cursed into a hilichurl. She could have run away from Traveler at the beginning of the quest because she didn't want us to see her like that. The siblings' master plan is to resurrect Conria by reweaving its ley lines. To fire up the Loom of Fate, they needed two things: a staging ground and memories of Conria. The Lord of the Night loans her a patch of Natlan, so for a short time, Conria's ley lines run as a ghost layer right on top of Natlan's. Istaroth, the ruler of time, bridges the gap so the traveler can literally see that hidden layer. Grabbing Diridith's hand acts like a tuner, snapping their vision to the Conrian frequency. Dainsleif's memories plus the Abyss Order's group meditation sessions supply the memory field needed for the Loom of Fate to complete its objective. With those inputs, the sibling forges the Atlas of the New World, a blueprint of new Conria's ley lines. Can we talk about that name for a second, because I love it. In Greek mythology, Atlas was a titan who got slapped with the ultimate punishment, holding up the celestial heavens for eternity, because he sided with the Titans in their war against the Olympian gods. He's also tied to navigation and astronomy, often shown carrying a celestial globe or the pillars that divide earth and sky. It's so fitting for the sibling, someone literally bearing the weight of a fallen nation.
True, that's a
a
nice
fallen
reference.
world on their shoulders. The Loom of Fate was a powerful device capable of weaving its own ley lines into the planet. Originally, Caribert was meant to become the Loom, but he died at just 8 years old while being used as fodder for its construction. Though his body was lost, a fragment of his consciousness remained, allowing him to control the Loom in its incomplete state. Using its ability to implant false memories, Caribert tricked Dainsleif and helped the Abyss Order steal the Eye of the First Field Tiller, a key component needed to complete the Loom. Using an Inte Vat as the base for Conria's new construction and the powers of the Loom, the sibling grew a replica of Conria atop present-day Natlan,
This is how much I understood. How far?
superimposing the memories of the old nation onto new land. Because the Inte Vat only grows in Conria, it carries an imprint of its soil in space-time. The new realm was infused with memories from meditating Abyss Order members and stolen memories from Dainsleif. And with that, the sibling created the Atlas of the New World, the blueprint for a reborn Conria. Now the sibling needs one last thing, a permanent physical location sturdy enough to host that blueprint. And I have just the perfect place for some new Conria real estate. Conria was an underground nation, so I'd suppose they'd want to try living in the sky now. In all fairness, it's more likely that Conria will find room in the Dark Sea. The monsters and godlike beings that lurk there already hate the Archons and Celestia, so I think they'd get along swimmingly as neighbors. The sibling wants to face the heavenly principles as an equal, and to do that they need the power of an entire world behind them. But it seems the sustainer of heavenly principles—
Oh yeah, this was the video. See? The Heavenly Principles. Oh, this is the Heavenly Principles, not the Asmodee. Okay, so they were spying on the travelers, the two siblings. So they know what's going on. They're just watching, as if everything is part of the plan.
is already listening in. And girl, when I find you. When I find you. If you give Diridith the key,
Wait, what?
it
Oh.
When I find you. If you give Diridith the key, it disappears from your inventory. If you keep the key, the sibling gives Diridith their hibernation chamber key, ensuring this time loop continues. So don't feel bad if you chose—
Oh, okay, so there was a choice? Was this the first choice Genshin ever introduced, by the way? Holy shit, bro.
one over the other. Fate was inevitable. Back at the Masters of the Nightwind, the traveler
So the fate was just either way. You got a choice. The choice matters, but doesn't matter. The fate is sealed.
meets with Yansan and Citlali. Citlali is shocked by the Lord of the Night's decision to let the sibling essentially rewrite reality. The Lord of the Night allowed it only after ensuring Natlan wouldn't be harmed, and gave one final condition: she—
The only reason they could do it, by the way, because they are not from this world. We know this, that Armin's soul, when it got erased, we learned that Traveler is unaffected by Tevat's rule, because Traveler is not from here. Lumine, I don't know, because Lumine is not a descender. Aether is the descender. I don't know, wait, am I mixing things up? Let me know in the comments. I don't know how I mixed this up. This is very clear from the very beginning, but I mixed it up, but yeah.
He didn't share. Also, quick
Oh yeah, so they're ineffective to do anything. David's rule doesn't apply to them, so they can just do whatever they want. They can just remove the destiny of what has been told, and they can rewrite fate itself, bro.
Quick clarification, Capitano is not the Lord of the Night. His life force was handed over to the Lord of the Night, and now the curse of immortality placed on Capitano is what's keeping her alive indefinitely. The Lord of the Night is still in control. Capitano's just the fuel, for now. Yansan offers a feast in the traveler's honor, but they quietly decline and return to the cave. Actually lets you re-enter the domain where you witnessed the cataclysm. Plus, there's a glitch that actually lets you re-enter.
Wait, what the? Oh, this is a glitch, bro. I thought, wait, this was there? I never found it.
Enter the domain where you witnessed the cataclysm. Meaning, you can bring your favorite characters in to relive the horrors of one of Teyvat's darkest moments. Truly a 10 out of 10 vacation spot. Also, did anyone else notice the resin symbol quietly change from whole to broken? Very sus, especially.
Wait, I never got that, bro. Wait, really? When did that happen, by the way? Oh, when did that happen, bro? I never noticed it, by the way. It was completely whole, but now it is broken.
With the moon lore and Nodcry content on the horizon. And just in case you missed it, Traveler's Character Story 3 has been added this patch with new details pulled directly from this Archon quest, so definitely give it a read. Diridith, Caribert, and the Chasm Archon quest all exist for one reason.
Okay.
To make you feel bad about killing Hilichurls. Diridith was a Conrian who grew up on her grandmother.
This is where we also learned that Hilichurls are the people of Conria who have been cursed, by the way. That was also a biggest lore bomb, by the way, bro. Genshin is phenomenon, by the way, bro.
There's stories about a savior, someone destined to save Conria from a prophesized doomsday. She lived in a surface village that still had access to the sky. This is just a theory, but while Conria's main city was underground, it seems their territory eventually reached the surface. Diridith's home is likely one of those outposts. But after the cataclysm, Diridith was punished with the curse of the wilderness, turning her into a Hilichurl. The curse mainly affected non-pure-blooded Conrians, including those who left the lands of the gods. Despite this curse, she protected this alien key, preserving Diridith's almost like their physiology even after centuries, traveler, and the hand-holding. Diridith was innocent. She gave the sibling the hope they needed to find their sibling.
Yeah, this is the part where I was questioning things like, why would Izroth do time manipulation in order to convince Lumin, as I am the main protagonist, Aether is the main protagonist, so Lumin was fighting in the Conria, had to convince sister to pull off from the war, not join the war, and leave the war. I don't know what would have happened, like if a world existed that, if Lumin was fighting in the Conria, would she have won the war? Conria could have been saved? We don't know, but what did Izroth see? What does Izroth know? Why did she do that, by the way?
But also unknowingly caused them to abandon Conria during its dark.
Yeah, like she is innocent. She was just following. She was just a pawn in Izroth's time manipulation, bro.
Hour. It's hard to blame her, and in her defense, there's no guarantee the sibling could have stopped the cataclysm even if they had stayed. While Diridith represents Conria's hope and innocence, Hayden reminds us of its corruption and the darkness it left behind. Hayden is the iniquitous Baptist we fought alongside, who later became Skirk's master and one of the infamous 5 sinners. Back in the Conrian Knight Academy, Hayden wore a mask of virtue while crushing the next generation beneath him. He preached chivalry, but behind the scenes, he silenced rising talents to secure his own prestige. Minsleif got punished for being restless and brash, while Sir Thologi, who faithfully lived the Hayden. But even with Ornn and anyone in Tevat. Whether he's sincere or just manipulating us again, that's up to us to ponder. Cuts deeper than a betrayal from a friend. According to Skirk, Dainsleif and Sirtology were once best friends. Sirtology is a pretty deplorable person, and he went from being a loyal knight who once upheld Conria's code of honor to becoming one of the infamous 5 sinners.
What power and certain things does to a man. I'm not just saying man, but mankind, man and female both.
When Dainsleif recognized Skirk's blade work during their encounter, he instantly...
You know, like, there are type of peoples in this world where there are a lot of type of peoples, but I'm gonna say 2 of them. One of them, I'm a Muslim myself, so when a person has a fear of Allah, the creator, he won't do some things like drinking alcohol, for example, going to the bar, doing zina or anything. So when there is a thing, when there is a fear of the creator that we won't do, that person won't do it. But when you remove that boundary that leaves that man from doing something, he would just commit every sin a mankind can pull off. If God wasn't there, if God was out of the question, a man would commit all the notorious sins a mankind can do. Second person is that a man knows there is Allah and the creator and follows the discipline and does have his own choice. Like, he chooses not to go there. Even if you remove Allah, the creation, out of the equation, he would still not do it. He would still not go to the bar. He would still not drink alcohol because he chose not to. That person is the true disciplined person, bro. That person has his morals. So that's why I said, what power, what certain things does to a mankind. When you're out there wandering, have no life, when you have no things, what can you do? Commit sins.
He knew who trained her. He was immediately angry and demanded to know where Sirtology was. Because of this, Skirk makes it clear that she'd rather not cross paths with Dainsleif again. Speaking of Dainsleif, this man has been aura farming this entire quest.
And Minsleif back at it again. Like, this entire quest, by the way, she was dressed in a wedding dress because she loves Dainsleif. So this entire quest was like blazing Dainsleif.
Dropping some of the hardest lines we've ever. You love a king. I only get to act like this once a year, so I think I deserve a pass. He tried forging a weapon with Wax, desperate for Dainsleif. Couldn't see those physical damage numbers. You has been raw dogging enemies with his fists. I mean, look at those physical damage numbers. Eula could never. I only get to act like this once a year, so I think I deserve a pass. He tried.
That's why she said it, bro.
The Abyss lines at which he's World Quest covering of good and evil. Zerv and body haven't written by Richard Wagner. In the story, the ring is forged from gold to rule the world. To inherit, recognize Kling is also power, but received from his brother constantly resets his body's isn't better from near. Ultimate strength is unreal, but it's the weight of everything he's carrying. His past, his memories, unreal, but it's the weight of the most tragic and compelling characters in the entire game, and the love of my life. In the Sarkon quest, Hayden also drops a wild line about the sibling. He tells,
if there is a person, I don't know if anybody commented, how many times did she glazed Dainsleif?
They might sound in the most unexpected place, the Xbox glider.
Yeah, bro, like the most unexpected things, bro. Genshin just drops lores in the most unexpected type of things, bro. This glider, for example, the new traveler suit outfit, for example, bro. Holy shit, bro. What type of lore are they cooking in different type of things?
Wings of Fate's course intertwined. That glider has lore written from Danesley's perspective. In it, he recalls King Irmin proclaiming the sibling as Prince or Princess of Conria. But it gets darker. He says the sibling was used as a vessel to absorb unlimited abyssal power, and that they became the key to the world's near annihilation. In hindsight, it's such a clever play on words because now we know a literal key led to them abandoning their post during the cataclysm. If the sibling held all that power and Hayden says it was later divided, it's possible that unlimited power got split among the 5 sinners, each carrying a fragment of whatever.
Oh, okay. Wait, I saw this entire video and I didn't clock that, bro. What?
Abyssal force the sibling once contained. The siblings' loyalty to Conria runs deep, and some of that may come from guilt. They were supposed to protect it, and instead, they left. But I've got a theory about why their devotion is so extreme, and we'll get into that in a bit. So, unlimited abyss power split 5 ways, which will later be used to fight against Celestia. Deja vu, right? History's repeating itself. The Dragon King Nibelung once tried to harness the power of the Abyss to overthrow the heavenly principles. And now, centuries later, Conria was preparing to do the exact same thing. But what exactly triggered this doomsday event is still unclear. Rhine-daughter, Albedo's mother, is often blamed for unleashing monstrous creations that
Rhine-daughter, again that name. She is way too much involved in all of
ravaged the
this.
world, but some records suggest she was retaliating, which would mean Conria didn't strike first. It was so crazy to see the unknown god's cubes, and she's actually shown spying on the conversation between the traveler and the sibling. She calls herself the sustainer of heavenly principles, and based on everything we've pieced together, there's a strong case she's one of the 4 rulers or shining shades. There's been a running theme with the artifacts. The Flower of Life could be tied to Nibirius, the ruler of life, the Feather of Death to Renova, the ruler of death, the Sands of Aeon to Istaroth, the ruler of time. That leaves the Goblet of Yonathem possibly representing the ruler of space, which might represent the unknown god herself. The title Sustainer was always eerie to me. In the Natzistenkreuz world quest, René de Petrichor defines a descender as one who can protect, sustain, destroy, and create a world. That lines up a little too close with the rulers. Istaroth protects, Renova destroys, Nibirius creates, and the unknown god sustains. Each shade is a fragment of the heavenly principles itself, split to maintain omnipresence or maybe to avoid total destruction. After all, it's said the heavenly principles created the shades from itself. Which brings us back to the 5 sinners. If our theory from the last video holds, they're not just trying to revive Conria, they're aiming to replace the heavenly principles by merging with the rulers. Rhine-daughter fusing with Nibirius may have already taken out its creation aspect. And if the others follow suit, the heavenly principles might lose itself entirely. Alright, so I need to share one of my absolute favorite theories that I've ever worked on. In the bedtime story Archon quest, the traveler asks their sibling, why can't we finish this?
This is so important, by the way. I already understood the full of it, but it again brought a new light to what I understand now.
This journey together. The sibling gives a vague answer. They reached a place called the Sea of Flowers at the end, while the traveler was still asleep. A place filled with Intevats, the flower the traveler once wished to see in full bloom. The sibling sees it as a coincidence, but says they can't leave Tevat until the war ends and they find the final answer. Here's what I think that means. In the Natzistenkreuz quest, the traveler says the Intevat is from their home planet, but it's also Conria's national flower. So when the siblings saw a whole field of them in Tevat, they probably took it as a sign that this was where their people belonged.
That's what also blew my mind away, bro. But we know that there were these descendants. You know, Teritsa, I told that she loved the 3rd descendant. And I don't know if the 3rd descendant was from Aether's planet, because that planet is destroyed, but where could the other descendant be from?
That their purpose was here. But how?
So those other outworld people, otherworldly people, outlanders, descendants or whatever, they could have brought these plants. And that's why in Tevat we can see those flowers.
How did the Intevat even get to Conria? Perenari's books and Arlecchino's backstory suggest Conria once summoned outlanders from other worlds.
Yeah.
Someone from the traveler's home planet might have...
Wait,
Conria
who?
once summoned outlanders
Conria.
from other worlds. Someone from the traveler's home planet might have brought the flower to Tevat long before they and their sibling ever arrived. That's why the sibling stayed. Why Lumine already wears Tevat's in her hair whether you choose her as your traveler or not. And this realization hits even harder when you look at their character cards. Lumine says your homeland has already been destroyed. You were originally supposed to own the world. Were they looking for new worlds to save a dying home? Were they not the first from their planet to arrive in Tevat? But the recent time-bending shenanigans open up a second possibility. We know Isroth helped Makoto warp time.
Again, Isroth manipulating time and everything, by the way.
Time to plant the sacred sakura in Inazuma. Future A plants the seed in the past, and Isroth makes it grow for thousands of years. In this recent Archon quest,
By the way, it's really interesting to see that the Archon, Makoto was the first Archon in Inazuma. And am I right? Yeah, I think. And Makoto had connections with Isroth, the Four Shades, the enemy of Archons, by the way. So they helped each other. Were there any debt to be paid? That's why Isroth helped Makoto. Or what's going on?
Isroth lets Diridith take the traveler's key from the future
Again.
back to the sibling 500 years ago in the past. Isroth could have let someone in the future carry Tevat's seeds into Conria's past. In other words, the flower could be there because of a closed time loop orchestrated by the ruler of time. For example, future Lumine plants the Tevat in her hair in the past, and Isroth allows that one flower to bloom into an entire field across time. But all of this has got me thinking. In a similar manner, what if something or someone can be sent from the future to the past? What if that someone is Kaya? What if he's not just from old Conria, but from new Conria? What if his father sent him back in time for a reason? New Conria was built from memories of a world that was destroyed.
Like, we know Kaya is from Conria after the story quest in Natlan. Natlan, yeah? Perhaps. Kaya is from Natlan. Damn.
So what happens if those same memories are flawed, unstable, or destined to repeat the same fate? If Kaya's from the future, what was he meant to change? If Kaya really came from future new Conria to the past in Mondstadt, shouldn't he know what's coming? Maybe, or maybe not. To travel through time, he would have needed the power of Isroth, the ruler of time, and using a ruler's power always comes with a price. When Mawika used the ruler of death's power, the cost was her life. Isroth is also known as the goddess of moments, memories. So the cost of using her powers might be memories. We don't know how much Kaya remembers about his past, or rather his life in the future. He certainly isn't saying much. It's possible the memory sacrifice wasn't even his. His birth father may have given up his own memories so Kaya could survive the jump to the past. That could be why Kaya is considered Conria's last hope, and possibly the last of the Alberic clan with the plans to save New Conria. Honestly, I have so much to unpack.
So is Kaya like helping Lumine? Is like Kaya isn't, perhaps we don't know much, but is Kaya also related to the Abyss and trying to restore Conria? Because she said that Kaya is the last hope of Conria.
Here that
So
Kaya
that-
might need a dedicated video of his own. His connection to Conria, his father, his role in Mondstadt, because it's all adding up to something much bigger than we thought. And I think it's time we gave him a dedicated video on this channel. I have so many thoughts on this, so I'll compile it into a video shortly after this one gets uploaded. Going back to A Space and Time for You, there's probably a much bigger time paradox at play than we even realize. Because if both Aether and Lumine are canon travelers, then we might be stuck in a massive time loop, one that Isra, the
This is not even in common of what Genshin does, by the way. The Genshin Hoyoverse does this in every, not in every, I don't know, but Hoyoverse likes to break the fourth wall. Hoyoverse likes to put loops, time loops. Hoyoverse likes to mind bubble of everything, bro. You know, in Honkai Star Rail, there's a character named Pheromone, and he was stuck. Wait. here. He was stuck in an endless loop of 33 million cycle. Now, think for a bit. Fathom this idea. This is not just a random word, by the way. In the Honkai Star, sorry, not Honkai, it's Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, it is Honkai Star Rail. I was talking about Honkai Impact 3rd, but Honkai Star Rail. So, in Honkai Star Rail, the story literally portrays of what he has been through for an entire 33 million cycles, bro. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been done. Bro, that's insane, bro. And in the trailer or in the Arkham Quest itself, because I haven't done in the Arkham Quest in the Star Rail, and I'm not going to go forth what's going on in Star Rail because I am fucked, by the way. There's a reason, because at what Arkham Quest I am in is laughable. Pheromone lost his mind and went berserk, and then he became one of the Ions. And in Honkai Impact 3rd, recently, very recently, not this recently, like 3 years ago, like Honkai Impact 3rd is a very old game. Before Genshin was ever made, Honkai Impact 3rd was there. So Honkai Impact 3rd, in the very recent updates, in an event, they broke the fourth wall. So Genshin likes to do this, bro.
Okay, I hope you all enjoyed this.
Where's the video?
The ruler of time is actively orchestrating. What if this isn't the first time the twins have been through this cycle? What if they both already played the role of the traveler and the abyss sibling before? Each time the loop resets, one wakes up, the other falls to the abyss. And Istaroth could be watching it all unfold like a cosmic experiment, trying to see which twin can culminate the most experience and knowledge to finally break the pattern and make a different choice. And maybe, just maybe this time, we're getting close to breaking the cycle and defying fate itself. In the world of Genshin Impact, fate is an inevitable force. It weaves through the stars and decides who rises and who falls. But not everyone accepts fate's unforgiving script. Across Teyvat, powerful factions are rising, each with their own vision for what the world should be, and each willing to challenge the divine order that has ruled for aeons. The Abyss Order is working to bring back Conria, the fallen nation from 500 years ago. Their goal is to recreate the past using memory, revive the old, and in doing so, rewrite the present. Meanwhile, the Fatui, led by the Tsaritsa and her Harbingers, have a very different plan. Instead of remembering the past, they want to erase it completely and build a new world from scratch. Il Dottore, one of the Harbingers, wants to burn the Erminsel Tree, the database of the entire world of Teyvat. If he succeeds, much of Teyvat's past would be erased forever. The Fatui don't want to preserve history. They want to rewrite it into something more stable, something they control. Their goal comes at the cost of memory and truth. The Fatui seek to create a completely new world, one that doesn't exist in memory, but in dreams, ideals, and ambitions. Every move they make is a step toward wiping the slate clean, cutting ties with the past entirely, and shaping a future based on their version of perfection. But creating a new world isn't something just anyone can do. Only Descenders have that kind of power. It takes a Descender to sustain, protect, destroy, and most importantly, create a world. Here's where the third Descender becomes important. The Archon's Gnosis were crafted from the body of the third Descender. These divine objects carry more than elemental power. They're fragments of a godlike being capable of creating a world. If the Tsaritsa is collecting all the Gnosis, it may be because she's assembling the pieces of a creator. With all the Gnosis, she could gain access to the one thing needed, the power to make her dream of a new world real, and completely remake the world without Celestia. In the middle of all this stands the Traveler. The Traveler is a Descender too. Zhongli notes that Traveler is a living atlas, a living backup, a blueprint, not just of the current world, but possibly of every world they've traveled through. But most importantly, Traveler is the record of the truth of what happened and what will happen to Teyvat. To the Abyss Order, the traveler might carry memories that contradict the version of the old world they're trying to restore. To the Fatui, the traveler may be a competing descender, someone with the same power the Sarita is trying to collect and someone with a will to defy her own. The traveler may be the one thing standing between the world Teyvat was and the world the Fatui want to create. This is why I personally don't think Sarita needs the traveler to enact any of her plans. Everyone in Teyvat is fighting over what the world should be, but has anyone stopped to ask what it was meant to be in the first place? Originally, Teyvat belonged to the dragons, ruled by the mighty dragon sovereigns, until the heavenly principles descended and took it for themselves. But why? Why Teyvat? Why did they come here at all? What did they want with a world?
Now, this again correlates with this traveler's spaceship. We learned that traveler's spaceship could be the heavenly principle, and the spaceship is doing all of this. And this is all so much like contradicting and doing so much stuff, bro. Like all these theories just messing up everything, bro. This is like Minsleif said one thing in one of her videos. Where is that video? Can I find it? Oh yeah, she said, where is it? The original comment. Well, I can't find it, but she said in this video, remember, Genshin lore and theories are what? Are everyone's explore at their own pace. Don't let anyone tell you what theory you should or shouldn't believe, because every idea and theory has its place in the journey of figuring it all out, and we will keep exploring it together, one theory, one lore drop at a time. Yeah, and I said a nice way to end my yapping. I yapped so much, bro. So she said that. So telling everyone this is all just a theory in the end. Just enjoy your game, and story will just tell you. Dark Quest will just tell what's going on. Theory is just a theory, and story is a story.
Already teeming with life and power. And that brings us to one of my craziest theories yet. Teyvat is an arc.
This is what I actually knew this, but couldn't wrap my mind into it. The fake sky. It's fake. So where are we? Everything after learning that the spaceship is like influencing Teyvat itself, making an environment for suitable for humankind to live. So it's just a preserved place for everybody to live. It's an arc. And this is what she explains.
It's the last refuge or artificial world constructed to preserve life from some unknown cosmic catastrophe. The heavenly principles didn't conquer Teyvat to rule it. They built or repurposed it as a safe haven from a universe that is falling apart. This could explain the firmament, the strange diversity of life apart from humans, and
This is true, and most important part will come after the video.
even the
Here.
recent signs of instability. Teyvat, being the Hebrew word for ark, draws a direct line to Noah's Ark, which preserved life during a world-ending flood. In the Bible, Noah's chosen to carry a pair of every living being, male and female, onto a vessel. The ark floats above the destruction of the flood that wipes out the entire world until it finds land again, heralding a new beginning after divine judgment. Imagine a giant protective vessel, not filled with animals, with survivors from other worlds.
Yeah, how many times did Genshin actually made reference to arc of survival? Like Genshin is telling us that Fontaine ship was an arc. You think that's just an arc? Think about the Teyvat. That's an arc. Like Genshin actually show us a lot of things and points us that. You think that is something? No, there is something even bigger. Bro, that's why I love Genshin, bro. Holy shit.
from other worlds.
They and their
Planets
story.
destroyed, moons shattered, civilizations wiped out, and the heavenly principles gathered the last remaining beings and brought them here to start over. This would explain why Teyvat has a fake sky, the firmament. It's a protective dome, a shield meant to keep Teyvat hidden from whatever is destroying worlds out there. It makes sense that Celestia might be punishing actions that could tear a hole in their arc. Cause yeah, that would be bad. Even Alice says something's wrong. The borders of Teyvat are beginning to crumble. So what happens when the shield falls apart? In the Sarkon quest, Hayden says a world woven from broken memories shall itself be broken. That might not be a metaphor. That might be a nod to the entire design philosophy of Teyvat. The sibling is trying to recreate Conria using fragments of the past, because it worked before. That's exactly how the Heavenly Principles might have built Teyvat in the first place, using memories from fallen worlds stitched together into one last safe haven. But memories fade, systems can fail, and if too many people start changing the code, the whole thing could fall apart. Now let's talk about the Adepti and the Yokai. Where did they come from? Why do they exist outside the rules of normal human evolution? There's no lore that says they developed in Teyvat, because maybe they didn't. Maybe they're refugees, survivors of other planets who were brought here and just integrated. The Ark wasn't just made to save humans, it was made to preserve intelligent life no matter what form it took. Now let's slow down for a second because here's where things get a little weird. We've got characters like Zhongli, the Adepti, and even the Yokai, powerful beings who don't exactly fit into human logic. But here's the thing, if Zhongli or the Adepti came from another planet, shouldn't they remember that? Shouldn't they have at least some memory of life before Teyvat? But they don't. In fact, we're never told how they got there. They just...
Yeah, we learned that Zhongli, even the theory of that he is from outside world, but after Nahida Rukkhadevata erased from the reality, Zhongli forgot everything. Or it could be that Genshin is just playing with us again.
exist. The Adepti in Liyue, the Yokai in Inazuma. And maybe that's the clue. What if they didn't come here as living refugees, but were recreated by the Heavenly Principles using blueprints from other worlds? They were reconstructed in Teyvat as a way to preserve them, but without their originals' memories. They were rebuilt inside this new world like restored backups. Zhongli, the Prime Adeptus, might not be a literal survivor of his original world, but a replica based off the original. He has instincts, knowledge, and power, but no memory of any planet before this one. Because in this version of him, that life never happened. And this could apply across the board. It would explain why beings like the Adepti and the Yokai don't have origin stories, why there's no explanation for how they got to Teyvat, if humans were supposedly the only things that arrived with the Heavenly Principles. Teyvat is essentially a patchwork of worlds. That's why its rules are so weird. Each fragment of a planet brings its own rules, its own reality code, and when combined, the seams don't always line up. Teyvat is an ark, a survival construct made by the Heavenly Principles to protect what's left of the universe. Its false sky is a shield, and its memory-based infrastructure might be starting to break down. And now everyone's trying to rewrite it. The Abyss Order with their Atlas, the Fatui with the Gnosis, and that's...
Bro, though Teyvat, the world is already falling apart. The Heavenly Principles is already at war, have been fighting with Gandria, sinners, hexen circles, whatever not, bro. Heavenly Principle was always in the center of it, the enemy. Heavenly Principle, aka, or the ship, could be the ship, the hyperchamber, or a person who has taken control of the AI, or completely different thing. But the thing is, world is falling apart. Heavenly Principles law is falling apart. The Ark is built by the Heavenly Principle, and the Fitui, the Abyss,
Everyone's trying to rewrite
the Abyss Order, the Fitui Harbingers, knowingly or unknowingly, they are fighting the Heavenly Principle, while completely knowing the fact, or maybe not, that they are destroying Teyvat itself if they destroy Heavenly Principles ruling? We don't know. Because this arc isn't told by the Archon Quest, so we have yet to know this. This is just a theory. But it's actually more than a theory. Like, we know that this world is fake. Everything is fake. And it actually makes so much sense that everything has been saved. The Yokai Adaptai reincarnated or remade from the past world into this new arc of survival. Bro, this is so cool. Like, before Genshin, Honkai Impact 3rd was there, so they took a lot of inspiration and a lot of things correlates Genshin with Honkai Star Rail, even Honkai Impact 3rd. I was talking about sorry. Honkai Genshin Impact correlates with Honkai Impact 3rd and also in Honkai Star Rail, and Honkai Star Rail has correlation with Zoneless Zone Zero. Bro, Hoyoverse is a mess, but this is why Hoyoverse is Hoyoverse. This is why I like Genshin. And other than that, what else? Bro, my mind is cooked right now, bro.
It. The Abyss Order with their Atlas, the Fatui with the Gnosis, and that's just who we know. If the arc breaks, there might be nothing left beyond it. No stars, no worlds, no sky, just silence. And when it's all gone, only the traveler would remain, drifting through the void, carrying the last memory of a world that no longer exists.
Isn't this deja vu? This entire phrase is from Furina's arc, you know, where the tale goes like the Archon would be whipping on her throne, where the entire Fontaine would get flooded. Something like that. I've just made it the things up because I forgot the line.
The last person who remembers that Teyvat was ever real, and that anyone ever lived there at all. But remember, this is just a fun, slightly terrifying theory to ponder on while we wait another full year for Dainsleif to come back.
Yeah, this entire thing is about Dainsleif's glaze, but yeah. Bro, this entire thing was fascinating, bro. Fascinating. Like, now I am well equipped, well knowledged about what's going on in Genshin and what's happening. Holy shit, bro. What did I write? Well, whatever, bro, but holy shit. And also, what happened here? I forgot. Oh yeah, this was the event, the limited event that we did in our past video. We completed it within just 4 hours or 5 hours, I think, when the game was almost about to end. 13 hours was left, I think. But whatever, bro. This quest was actually really interesting because this event showed us a timeline where the traveler wouldn't exist and what would have happened to the world itself. What Devolin would have become, what would have happened in Mondstadt. There were no people in Mondstadt, by the way. Everybody evacuated from Mondstadt. It went so bizarre, so dangerous that Abyss power got created into the bubble of which there's no Abyss activities. This entire event was made by Alice and her friend, an angel, I forgot her name, but it was created, not like this is the real thing. But the Abyss power got created into nothing. And there's a reason why it even manifested in that bubble, is that Abyss power is from anger, hatred, everything, so that's why it manifested in that bubble out of thin air. So this event showed that what would have happened if Traveler didn't appear in Mondstadt at that time, and what would have happened in Mondstadt, bro. Like, holy shit, bro. Holy shit. Damn. Here. Elvis is the hatred carried all by all the fates. That will not
not
what
come to pass. Her
come to pass and everything. That's why the abyss power came to be in the bubble and everything so forth. Bro, I think I am done for now. A lot of lore bombs. 1 hour. It's 2 hours, by the way. For 2 hours, we have been here, just listening to my yapping and the Lorecraft videos, bro. Though this is for my knowledge, for what I want to know, this actually benefited me. For those who are watching, I don't know why you are watching and watching my yapping, but thanks for watching. I have nothing to say. And my brain is fucked, so I'm gonna end the video over here, and there's nothing actually left over here. And these are all new. I need to watch this, and these three are just there to see. Bro, holy shit, bro. Like, do you guys understand? I made an entire group about Genshin lore just to understand, bro. That's how I'm dedicated to Genshin, bro. But anyway, there's actually nothing else to say, but other than in the recent Northwest lore quest, we'll know more if we continue with the Archon quest. Act 5, we learn that Arlecchino, Arlecchino is one of the descendant of the Crimson Moon dynasty from Kandria, and everything else and so forth. And now she also have a piece of the moon, Crimson Moon. So she is much more powerful right now. I don't know what she will do with it, but so much is to know, bro. So much is to learn. Holy shit, bro. Like, I am less energetic now. Can you fathom, bro, what I'm going through right now? I'm just thinking. Oh yeah, the sound of how I muted the sound. And also in my video, in my next video, I'm gonna complete this, and then I'm gonna continue with the Archon quest. I'm baffled. I'm so baffled. So many theories contradicting each other. So many theories clashing with each other. So many theories are similar, but somehow get changed after next lore update. Damn, bro. Holy shit. But anyway, this is going to be the end of the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. We have learned a lot. We have known a lot. Thanks to Minsleif, the girlfriend of Minsleif. Thanks to her, I get to learn everything. Without her, I wouldn't even know all of these theories, bro. Because of her interpretation, I learned some things new. Thanks to her and all the Lorecrafter videos out there, I'm gonna see other Lorecraft videos as well of other things that is missing over here. I don't think she misses anything, bro. Her depth of the everything is really good. And she mentioned one of the other theory crafter, Wu. Forgot his name, but yeah. Anyway, man, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, guys. Sorry for the yapping, guys.